Excuse me. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 2702 and Doubleshot number 2596. Well, first up we're discussing Showcase Presents Batman Volume 5 and Batman Legends of Dark Knight issues 21, 26, and issue 31. I'll discuss the reason we discuss issues soon. So, this showcase book had collected from Forte Comics issues number 391 to 407 and Batman number 216 to 227. Now, issues 218, 230, 223, and 220 are not printed in this showcase book because of the reprints. Now, there are some issues of Forte Comics I'm going to be skipping, mainly because I've reviewed them already, and that being issues number 395, 400, 402, and 407. Yep. I have discussed issues already. I think so. Let me take a look here. I think 406 I discovered. Yeah, so mostly put in 391. This is the final appearance of a character first appeared in episode 380. The character of Jenny, who was tricking people thinking he was going to marry Bruce Wayne, but of course, apparently she decides to go off with another guy, and of course he got Rocketeer. That's simply it. In the case of 392, mostly put, it's like, Batman, I've died 1,000 deaths. Yes. So we have appearance made about the Bat Sub. Yeah, which debuted in issue 147 of Batman. Yes. Mostly put, just taking out a couple of minor criminals. And then we have for 216 for Batman. Oh, the Angel of Death. Yep. And we also have the first one, we get Alfred. A last name in this one. Yes, Pennyworth. And we also have the first appearance of his niece, Daphne. And this is the one who was dating Dick Grayson. I thought it was his daughter. My mistake. Yes. She, of course, didn't really appear very much. She appeared in issue 227. She appeared like just twice. Yeah, just a couple times. Yep. Now, for 293, the Combo Caper. Yes. The big thing about this one is that the Batman and Robin team split up in this issue, and then, of course, this leads into Batman 117. We find out the reason why they're splitting is because Dick Grayson has graduated high school finally. He has been in high school and publication-wise since the 30s. Well, somewhat anyways. So, in 217, because, of course, that Bruce Wayne has graduated high school and gone off to college, Hudson University, Batman decides something completely drastic. So, starting off for the 1970s, he is doing something he has only done 3 times ever in the whole history of Batman comics. He's sealing out the Batcave. Yep, he is sealing the Batcave Wayne Manor because it was just Alfred and Bruce. Nobody else. No other servants, just these two. So, they go to the Wayne Foundation, which was previously the Alfred Foundation. Excuse me, and he repurposed the executive offices to basically a penthouse. Basically, it's basically how it reestablishes the darkness thing. Mostly put, this issue is noteworthy from what I've heard, according to one person who talked about this issue, is that this issue here, Batman 217, is the end of the Silver Age for Batman. And this continues over in the pages of Detective Comics, issue 394, which continues this very story. Yep. And they also established a thing called the Victims Foundation. It's also a side story with a Native American character who's just being a bad guy for no reason. But yeah, Dick can't get into the building because basically there's a riot going on. And that kind of leads into Dick Grayson's backup feature for the book. Yes, his own backup feature. Yep. Yeah, but in the case of now we're skipping to 295 because discussed already, and I think it was a Riddler story if I'm not mistaken. Um, excuse me. Oh yeah, this was collected in Batman Illustrated by Neil Adams. That's why I discussed it, so I don't have to over this one. So, next up is 219. The collected both serve this one. Death Cast. Time to Kill. This is a reprint from Family Page number 5, so don't worry about that. So we have The Silent Night of Batman, which is a Christmas story. Death Cast ID vote. Yep. Yeah, it's basically Batman just dealing with some. You go into DC for an issue. Because why not? And then moving over to 396 for Detective. The Brain Pickers. Where he goes to New York City to deal with money making schemes. That's most what it is. Batman 220. The murder has been pre-recorded. Oh yes, a murder. So, apparently, it's Villain 220. The big thing of this one is that they give the reason why Alfred's last name is Pennyworth. It was not something Frank Ribbons did. It was something that the editor decided to do because it was actually his last name in the comic strip Batman. That's why for that. We basically had the first appearance in the 220 of Marla Manning, who only appears very few amount of times. Yeah. Like, after this one issue, she next appears a couple issues to the comics and one issue Batman. And that's sadly it for her. Yeah. And then, of course, moving on to two straight issues of Teta Comics. 297, 298, Paint and Apparel. I love the covers here. The cover here is done by Neil Adams. This is a Denny O'Neil story. Yes, a Denny O'Neil story. I love his stories here. There's a woman named Katerina Valance, who's an opera singer. Who, this was actually her only appearance. Well, she appeared in one appearance after this, like in limited collector edition C44. But that was a reprint. But yeah, it's just an opera singer who just basically gets stalked. But she only appears as one issue. Yeah, this is also an issue drawn by Neil Adams. It's gorgeously drawn. Love this issue. The backup story is basically a backup story. Yep. And then for $3.98 is, well, a guy called Rod Drake. No, this guy, it's basically like going to Hollywood for an issue. All about script writings. It's like a mystery in Hollywood. Now, the guy Drake, no, I don't think this guy is related to Tim Drake. It's just basically a similar last name. And then, of course, we have 221 for Batman. A Bat Death for Batman. Hot time in Gotham tonight. Yeah, 2 stars this one. The upper star is Frank Ribbons' Iron Nevik. Iron Nevik also has a backup story in here with Mike Frederick in the artwork. Just Batman goes to Germany opening story, and the second story is, well, yeah, apparently this issue's in the later page. Alan Barnett, a guy who later wrote Batman, he didn't like 217 very much. Yeah. So mostly about Batman Hot Time Gotham Tonight. So you just help the Gotham Police Department, the fire department solve a series of arsons. In $3.99, Death comes to a small locked room. Yeah, basically locked room murder mystery. Which, okay. And then Batman 222. Death to a proven alive. And the case of no consequences. Yes. Also one of the rare times you see Batman team up with Dick Grayson for this issue. Yep. It's a brief return, and we have a backup story related to that. Backup story just by himself. Skipper 400, because basically that's debut of Man-Bat. 401, Tonight for Target. And I've already discussed it. This one's mostly about a guy who posed as Alfred. It's like a mass disguise for an issue. It is Clifton Yeager, who's just posing as people. It's a really interesting issue, this one. Moving on to 224, Carnival of the Cursed. Daniel Neal and Aaron Nevik on the artwork. It's just basically Batman face off against a version of a hunchback. In, of all places, New Orleans. Yeah, for some reason, Batman, from what I heard, Daniel Neal, he loved taking Batman out of Gotham. Yes. 402, Man Bat story. 225, Batman, Wanted for Murder 1. And Showdown York Street. Yeah, and we get appearance here by Arthur Reeves. Arthur Reeves was a guy who later became. This was actually, I believe, this was, I believe, one of his early appearances he made. Not his debut appearance. That would be in 399. Yeah, this guy became prevalent in the 70s when he briefly became commissioner of GCPD, all because of corruption. Yep. Yeah, he was a fairly recurring character in the 70s. Yep. The Showdown York Street. It is mostly put just dealing with like a guy called Art Shadows, who's a old Batman character who, like, after this one story here, he appeared very rarely afterwards. His last appearance in Batman, prior to this very issue here, was in 208. He must have appeared in Batman. He was a recurring character in Batman. That's most what he's here for. And then 403 and 404. 403 is Strange Criminals and Counter 2. One page of this issue, but mostly artwork by Bob Brown. Yeah, it's basically Batman protecting a woman in this whole issue. And this comes just after Talia's debut. This is before Talia's debut in 411. Then we have 404, Ghost of the Stalk the Killer. Yeah, basically it's Batman versus enemy Ace, but they cover like, nope. He only appears Mitcher. It's basically Batman versus some Nazis. Why not? 226, The Man with 10 Eyes. Yeah, I believe this is the debut of the 10-Eyed Man. Yep. A guy who got into an accident and had his vision transferred to his fingers. Yes, seriously. That is this man's gimmick. You're like, really? Yeah, and this issue was pretty much his debut appearance. Well, debut of the Earth 1 version of the character. Did he appear after this? He didn't do much for Earth. He basically didn't really do very much afterwards. But he did return post-Crisis, post-Flashpoint, actually. He returned in Batman Eternal, of all places. Yep. And the other story in Batman issue, just a reprint. In issue 4 or 5, Fist of Assassins. This issue here is noteworthy for the debut of the League of Assassins. Also, Dr. Derek. He makes his debut just, I believe, just the following issue. And then 227, The Demon of Gothos Mansion. Yeah, it's a horror story, and this is basically kind of in a way with this issue here. This issue is noteworthy for... This is basically a full return to the dark roots of Batman. It's written by Daniel Neal. Neil Adams has this gorgeous cover here. And the artwork's by Aaron Nevik. Let me show up the cover here. This one. Now this is definitely a Batman cover. Yep. Yeah. It does feature Robin's story, which I've discussed already in Showcase Batman Robin Volume 1. Most of it, it's also, I believe, the second era appearance. This also is the final appearance of Daphne Pennyworth, Alfred's niece. It's most of them going to a mansion for a haunted house story. Very interesting. I like this one. And then, of course, 406. This, of course, is the debut of Dr. Derek. Yep. And then, I've already talked about 407 already. But yeah, I like the fact we get some really interesting stuff here with these issues here. But really good issues overall. I'm going to give Showcase Men's Batman a 10 out of 10. Next up we have is Batman Legend of Dark Knight issues 21 to 26 and 31. 21 to 23, this is a three-parter known as Faith. And this is written by Mike W. Barr, art by Brett Spears. It's a minor religious issue or storyline here, but the biggest thing associated with the storyline is that this is in continuity of when Leslie Tompkins finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. This, of course, also, as you mentioned, though, this is post-crisis Batman. That's the biggest thing about this storyline. As for when this takes place, I have no freaking idea. Next comes basically a story done by Howard Chaykin and Gail Kane, known as Flyer. Yes, it is mostly put just a... by the way, I love the cover here for this one. Gail Kane was a legendary artist in his own right, along with Howard Chaykin. This, of course, like, I look at the interior, I'm like, wow, this artwork is so good. Mostly it's about a monster in modern day Batman has to fight. And one of the most strangest things with the storyline is Batman kisses the monster's mom. A woman who's actually older than him. And he basically has a line where he says, I didn't put in this costume to basically go look for women. And that apparently turns her off. And it's a very weird ending, but it's a really cool storyline. 31 is basically the noteworthy thing with this one. This is the first in-continuity appearance of Coulter Maltese. If not familiar with this place made its first appearance in Dark Knight Returns. You know, the classic Frank Miller story with him and Claude Jansen. This issue in particular is written by James D. Hunnell and art by Brent Anderson. And I love Brent Anderson's artwork. It is so gorgeous. And keep this guy still works his day. He was actually at Comic-Con recently. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but he is one of the writers for Ghost Machine. You know, the new company started by, the new imprint started by Jeff Johns, like people. Yep. But that's the only thing noteworthy about this issue. Just Batman go to the jungle for an issue. You think of this like a Batman Jungle Adventure story, which of course is really good, but the Coulter Maltese thing is the most noteworthy thing about this issue. But yeah, I'd say of the three storylines here, I'd say Flyer and this one got fantastic artwork. I would say if story-wise, I'd say this one's got the best story. Indeed it does. But next to talk about Legends of Dark Knight will be Batman Collected Legends of Dark Knight. This will collect several stories. Discuss that in a future video. But in the case of Batman, one more to go for that one. And then I'm switching over to, before I do more, I can go for... you might think, can I go further than beyond the Showcase Batman? I could, yes, but one thing I really want to get done is the Silver Age Omnibus. So I can get done the Silver Age of Batman. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it for particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up is going to be Blue Exorcist. Okay, next video.